What is up, YouTube? It's Nick Torius, your boy, out with another video, and I'm gonna be talking about depression, right? So hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new, comment what you think, and let's get into the video. Depression, what is it? We all know what depression is. Why I start off every video with asking what the topic is? We all know what depression is. Every day everyone's like, oh, mental health. Check your friend's mental health. Oh, what's up with this mental health stuff, right? Everyone's always talking about mental health. A lot of people go through depression. Like, I've been depressed before. Now I love life, right? I feel like depression is just the opposite of loving life, you know, just hating life. You just be like, I don't see the point. I feel like it's super easy to be depressed when you're sleeping. When, like, if you have a nice big goal, come from bed, it's super easy to be depressed because you just don't want to get up. But I mean, depression is just like, you know, this little angry monster that just like be attacking you and stuff, and just be like holding you down, right? It's just a feeling of being down. So I feel like the best way to deal with being held down is to just raise yourself up, right? I feel like if you just watch, like, because the thing is, like, alright, I feel like the worst depression ever is like losing somebody that was close to you, or a breakup, right? I feel like breakups are always the worst because that's when everyone's just like, you know, crying and all that stuff. So when you break up, because I've never lost anyone really, but I've broken up. I've had breakups before and I've gotten hurt. Is that your mind is always stuck on that person? It's just like your mind is always constantly thinking like, oh, this person this person that. What are they doing? What are they thinking about? Can they come back to me? How can I get them back? How can I get my boyfriend and my girlfriend back? You're always thinking about that stuff, right? So all you gotta do is stop thinking about it. It's hard as fuck. It's super hard, but I guarantee over time, because I've gotten over it. I've gotten over shit. Like for me, I mean, there's a bunch of girls that I still have my heart broken from, and a bunch of girls I don't give a fuck. Like it does definitely hurt at the beginning, but you know that's just life. Life's gonna hurt, so it hurts. But then you get over it, and then you got new stuff. The best thing to do is to keep distracted. Just think of the different things. Like look at different stuff and start labeling stuff. Right? That was always what I was taught by my friend, and also by books. Because what you do is you look, like right now I see a light. Oh, look, a light. Oh, a sign. Or a tree. All this stuff. You know, because then you're thinking about that and you're not thinking about the other stuff. So all you gotta do is just change the habits of what you think about, and then you should be Gucci. You see, the thing about depression is it's pretty easy to get out of it, right? It's not too hard. All you gotta do is really exercise, right? And just, I mean, it's super hard. it's like, it's hard to start, right? I made a video about how, like, with motivation, right? Motivation is useful because things are hard to start, right? It's always hard to start stuff. Like, just getting into the flow of just starting things is always hard. It's always the hardest part of everything. But then, like, you just gotta, you know, get motivated, and then you start, and once you start, you just keep it going, right? So there's always two parts to everything. There's always motivation and commitment. If you are motivated, you'll start, which gets rid of the starting part. And if you're committed, you get rid of the continuing part, right? Where it's like hard to continue, where it's hard to keep going. It's hard to keep going, but it's easy to start. Like it's hard to start and it's hard to keep going. But as long as you have those two, then you're good. The thing about depression is that it takes away your motivation, right? So if you have no motivation, then you can't even get committed to anything. So what happens is, it's the easiest way to get out of depression is to exercise, you know, to make yourself just more happier. Just make yourself do things that can make you happy. And the thing is, alright, so don't get confused, because most people get confused with depression and apathy, right? Depression is like a heavy feeling of like, you know, it's like a very sleepy feeling. Apathy is a lot worse than depression. Like I feel like apathy is like the worst feeling that you can get, because it's like, all right, so apathy is basically like if you ever nut and then you just feel like, what's the point of anything? You know, it's like when you ask, what's the point? Like depression is like, what's the point? But then apathy is like, what is the point? Like there's no point in nothing. I have no feeling. Like you have no type of feeling whatsoever. You feel me? Now you don't feel me because you're apathetic. So if you have apathy, you just don't, like things aren't even a drag. Things just don't matter. Like things just do not matter. And it's a horrible feeling. Like it's just the worst feeling ever because you're just like I would always get it anytime I nutted, right? And I would just feel like I'm not really caring about it. You don't care about anything. And that's why they say drugs are so dangerous, because the drugs will give you this high of like, oh my goodness. But then like the next day you're just like, so I don't give a fuck. So that's why, you know, you gotta balance your life out. I feel like depression comes from like when they say manic depression, right? What is mania? What is manic? Like manic, right? Like mania. If you're manic, you're gonna be all over the place. You're up, you know, you're manic, you're maniac. But if you're depressed, it comes from that such a high. Like you're living such a high that you have to come dropping down like a roller coaster. So it's like, imagine like you're on like the Sheikah or something, like in Busch Gardens, and you're going so high. You're up. Gotta come down. You know what I mean? So when you're that high, you're gonna come down. So I feel like most depression comes because I feel like you can't have those lows, right? Without highs, you know? The universe always balances your highs and your lows. The universe always balances your highs and your lows. So if you're always low, you're gonna have a high. You feel me? Like you're gonna have the thing is, you don't really care, because sometimes the high that you want is like that person, but you're gonna have more highs. Because that's why I always feel like people who are like very successful, right? Like, because I remember I was hearing Tekashi 6ix9ine's story, right? Tekashi 6ix9ine, I was listening to his interview, and he was like saying how he had such a horrible life. He was like such a, you know, living alone. Like his dad died, he had to like be in the gangs or whatever, and he had to like do a bunch of shit, and he was living a bunch of lows. So what did he do? He wanted to live a high life, so he went through his lows. Even XXXTentacion, he went through a whole bunch of lows, but then he got famous, and then he started living high. You know, he was up. So all these artists, because that's why they say sacrifice. When you sacrifice, you know, to go into a low. When you sacrifice, you're in a low for a high, right? Like when we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you sacrifice 2 monsters and you get a blue eyes white dragon. So that's what you get. You have to sacrifice, and that's just the low. Now with the depression, if you're trying to get out of the depression, especially if you're a little kid, it's hard because you don't even know what the hell you're feeling. You don't even know that it's depression. Like you might know now because the society nowadays, we're always like, oh, I'm depressed, so mental health is so important. But when you're a little kid, you don't know that, and you're just like, I don't know why I feel this way. And it's super easy to want to kill yourself, to want to cut yourself, or to do harm on other people, you know? Like it's really hard to just want to hurt other people, or like do, you know, just take those feelings out so you feel something, right? Because when people feel apathetic, it's because they want to feel something, and that's like a lower feeling than depression, right? So the best things that we can do as like for society is to just balance out those lows, right? A lot of people, they turn to drugs, but I feel like that just makes it work a lot worse, because that makes your whole entire vibe just lower, right? Because if you're a person that uses drugs, you're just at a low vibe all the time. Like you might get those highs and be like, oh yeah, but your overall vibe is gonna be real low. So what can we do, right? Exercise. But the only thing is that exercise is hard to start doing when you're depressed, because you don't see a point in it. So just write down. I feel like the best thing to do is just write down, okay, tomorrow, like just make a commitment. Like even if you don't want to do it, I'm just gonna go to the gym. I'm just gonna go to the gym. Or I'm just gonna take a walk, right? I'm just gonna take a walk. Walk around. Just walk around your neighborhood. Just gonna take a walk. Today I'm gonna take a walk, right? That's it. That's all you gotta do. And then you do it, go back to being depressed, right? Next day, I'm gonna take a walk again. That's all I'm doing. I'm just doing it because I said I was gonna do it. I'll just do it. Take another walk. Third day, or go to the gym. Feeling a little better. Still horrible. My heart's horribly aching, killing me. Take another walk. Go to the gym. Just make that commitment. Every day I'm just gonna go to the gym. Cause it's funny because I would always say it like when I was like, I'm feeling good right now. You feel me? Like I'm feeling like 100%. I'm feeling like 200% actually. I'm feeling real good. But there was a time, cause like it's so easy to just give this advice, right? It's so easy because it's like you're not living it, you're not feeling it. You're not like, oh, I feel so horrible. I feel like so down in the dumps. Cause it's easy to give this advice. Cause I used to give this advice all the time. Like, oh, just exercise, just go exercise. But now that I'm older and I've gone through shit, I realize, you know what? It's so easy to say just go exercise, but you don't fucking want to. You don't want to go exercise. You want to stay in bed. You don't see a point in exercise. Like to say you don't see a point and to just actually live that, it's horrible. It's terrible. That's why I'm always on this positive vibe now. Because when you're positive, because think about it like this, right? If you're depressed, that's a negative emotion. Because it's just like negative. Like you can be happy, then you go negative. Like brave, right? Brave isn't like as light as happiness, but it's still pretty up there. But it's negative, right? It's a negative happiness. Then you get like I don't know. I don't know. Complaining, right? Complaining is more negative than bravery, right? Then you have anger. Anger is more negative than complaining, because then you get angry and you just like, and then you have depression, which is more negative than anger, because then you're just like, I don't see a point. I'm so down, I'm so sad. Or sadness. You have sadness, which is more negative than anger, and then depression, which is more negative than sadness, you know? So, and even worse than that, you have apathy, which is more like apathy is negative compared to happiness, right? Like, would you rather be happy or would you rather be apathetic? You feel me? So all these emotions, you're just negative. If you're a negative person, like, oh yeah, that's negative thinking. That's because it's literally negative thinking. You're literally going to the negative, and that's energy. Yeah, you're having negative energy. That's why you can't get up out of bed. You can't get up out of bed because you're so negative. You feel me? You feel me? Because you're so negative, so you can't get up. If you're up out of bed, then you go up. And this is the thing is, what I noticed is that when you're tired, right? When you're tired, it feels good to be negative. That's the thing. It feels good because sometimes I'll be around positive people and they just have so much energy. They have too much energy. You feel me? And I don't like, because like, let's say I'm sleeping in my bed, because the thing is, all these emotions just lead to sleepiness and tiredness. Sometimes you need to be negative in order to be tired, right? Because all that stuff drains energy. If you're happy, you have so much energy, right? So the thing is, if you're tired and you're just like, I just want to go to bed, or you're sleeping, because sometimes I'm sleeping and my homegirl calls me, and then she'll be like, what's up, Nick? And I'm just like, it's too early in the morning for this. I can't deal with you, because then she's gonna wake me up, and I'm not gonna feel good sleeping no more. So that's why some people are always negative, you know, because they like to dwell in that negativity, because it feels good to them. Sure did to me. Yeah. How can you get rid of depression? Go get some sun. Take a little acid. Go look at nature. One time, because I believe in demons and shit, right? And I believe that if like you have a demon, like all of our vices come from demons. like entities taking up in our souls and shit. And I feel like since I tattoo, one of my things that I believe is that a lot of people that get tattoos have demons on them, and then they attach to me, right? Because I felt like I felt it before. So one time I was like doing a whole bunch of tattoos, and because the thing is like demons, the reason I say this is because demons are like full of negativity, right? Your demons make you negative. They make you feel these negative emotions. They make you feel all the tiredness and anger and depression, right? Because you're full of demons. So when you're full of demons, you're just like full of demons, you know? And you wanna, because the thing is, fast food, stuff like that, is so satisfying to like, when you have low energy, you just like crave, like, oh, I want some French fries, I want a burger, I want some red meat, some cow, you know? You just crave all that stuff. You just want all of that because you're so low energy. It's gonna feel so good to eat it. But when you're high energy, you don't need that much. So, because the thing is, when I'm high energy, like how I am right now, I'm good with just like berries, you know, like berries and fruits and shit and vegetables. But when I'm low energy, I want a fucking steak. I want chicken. You feel? I want a burger. I want something, you know, something tasty. But but it's not good for you. But I still want it, you know, because I have that low energy and it's so satisfying to eat it. But yeah, it's pretty much the whole video. If you guys have anything that you guys want me to cover in another video, just ask it in the comments or DM me. Like this video and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.